I'm not for that. Looking mighty black over there, Rico.
The light's not working. Can't get no love with the light.
No, Larry was looking nice and white. You looking nice and black.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Right, Urban Heat. 98.1 FM on iHeartRadio. Steve Gooseby here. Good morning, y'all. Or good afternoon, I should say. Been here since the morning, so lose track of what time of day it is at times. But welcome back, E. Welcome back, the Haitian refugee.
Thank you for having me on your program. I truly appreciate it.
All right, so we're back.
The fire started.
Oh yeah. So earlier this morning, it all began. We're talking about R&B relationships, love under arrest. Early on, we talked about the big ticket situation, and we ended up, of course, anytime you talk about relationships, I mean, we all got our own experiences, so we always talk about that. So we're here to continue some of that. Now, before we went away on the last episode, we had some comments. One of the comments was, 3 guys, 3 failed relationships, boom, 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 boom. And, my response to that, haven't we all had failed relationships? I mean, you can't tell me one person, especially at our age or even at the age of 30, that you haven't been in a failed relationship. So when we're all talking based on our own experiences, right? I mean, that is how you learn. You learn based on your experiences in life. And hopefully in life, you don't make some of those same mistakes. And then as you move along, instead of having a failed relationship, you might have an improved relationship or successful relationship. So we're here to continue that conversation. Welcome back, Tracy. I hope our person that was in the comments will come back and we can get her on live, because she was married. She's been married for 16 years, and congratulations to her. I think we all have something to add when it comes to relationships, and I would love to hear from her during her 16 years. Talk to us about some of your experiences. Why are you still together at 16? What are some of the things you might be able to help you might be able to help us?
Yeah, but was it a blissful 16 years?
Right. And well, that's the other question.
Because based on the comment, I feel like she's coming off like she's perfect in a relationship, and she's had perfect relationships her entire life.
Okay.
Instead of commenting, I think that warranted a phone call and some conversation.
Right.
I took it as a very disrespectful comment.
So one of our listeners already who has come back, Tracy, says that she needs. Are you saying she needs an apology from us, or she needs to apologize to us?
I think she needs to apologize to us. I'm not giving an apology.
Well, listen, I'm not looking for an apology. I think
no.
Let me just say this. I get it. I think we all, when we speak, again, she's speaking from her experience.
Yeah, but she was insulting, bro. She insulted us and don't know us.
Yeah. Well, that's true, but she's listening to 3 guys talk about relationships. She did hit it on the nose. We've all been in failed relationships.
I understand that, but the first half of it was a dig. Right. You know what I'm saying? So and
I'm not saying I'm on her side. I'm just saying
it warranted. If she really wanted to have a conversation, she could have called.
Right,
like everybody else does.
But I mean, not only just that. It's like she doesn't know any of us on a personal level.
Facts.
So by you not knowing us on a personal level, how can you just come out of your mouth and make a comment like that?
Right.
I mean, because no, on some real stuff, because it's like we could ultimately fire back and say something negative to her. How would she feel?
I'm very
we
prepared to
don't- we
fire it
don't-
off.
we're
Very
not-
prepared.
But you know, we don't know her at all. You know what I'm saying?
She said
And-
you need to apologize.
Who, me?
That's what Tracy said, that you need to apologize.
I need to apologize?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not gonna happen, Tracy. You can forget it. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, because just like you just mentioned, Goose, the thing about it is, and I think we made this very clear when we first started doing these shows,
Mhm.
is that we're not on this show talking about relationships to bash women or anything like
Never.
that. My whole objective and goal is to, just stay in line with the questions and the topics that we talk about, but also I want to leave out of here learning something because I don't know everything.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
so if somebody calls in, if a female calls in, they give their perspective on a relationship and certain things that they do that work or don't work, or if there's something that you guys bring to the table that works or doesn't work, I want to be able to pull some nuggets out of this conversation.
Facts.
Right.
And that's just that's all about growth. So we take that to the next show and to the next show. And if it's something that could be beneficial to the relationship that we're in now, whether that be with a woman that we're trying to vet, or if there's a woman that we already have in our life, we can apply that.
And let me say this, because guess what? Steve Gooseby is still growing. I
Mhm.
can never stop learning.
Yeah.
I can never stop learning.
I think we're all
You know what I mean?
growing.
Yeah. I mean, as long as we're living beings on this earth, there's always something that we can learn.
No doubt.
I don't have the greatest reputation, but when I do speak to some of the listeners off air when I'm out and about, I do take bits and pieces of that conversation because you see, I'm much not much, but I'm a little bit nicer now than I was when you guys initially brought me on board. Because the first couple of shows, the phone.
Someone checked you or what happened?
No, I just like you just said it. I'm learning
Yeah.
and I'm growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do take advice and I do listen and take bits and pieces of the conversation, based on the conversation. I think the way I come off on air and the way I am in real life is two different people, but they're really one and the same,
Mhm.
But I do want to learn from you guys and from women that listen to us, because that's only going to make me better if I'm fortunate enough to have another relationship.
Mhm.
Right.
I'll go into that a better man, a better person with
Oh,
a
yeah,
better
facts.
understanding
Yeah.
because of my interaction with you guys and just, like you said, communication,
Mhm.
learning, growing, evolving. I'm still growing too.
Yeah.
I don't know everything, but I'm a student of life. And
Right.
if you got something to teach me, come talk to me. Let's sit down and
Yeah.
talk.
Here's one comment. Yes, because unfortunately, these talks always end up as us versus them. That is true. He versus she. And I think that's part of the problem, because we're not here
Mhm.
as a us versus them.
Never.
No.
We just, from day one, we've always said relationships from a man's perspective.
Facts.
And the reason why we say that, because we often feel that you all don't really listen to us,
Right.
which is why we talked about, we played the segment where the woman said women's, and this is coming from another female where she said women don't listen.
Yep.
And I really agree with that. I think when it comes to relationships, and for example, us being here today, we're having a conversation.
Mhm.
We're giving it to you from a man's perspective. Why would you not want to hear, some information coming from a man's? It's not personal. We're just talking based off of our own experiences. That's it.
Yep.
But
Mhm.
they
That's
don't. But they don't. I feel like if it doesn't go along with their personal narrative, they're not going to receive the message. I think you gave a lot of gems today, Steve, and I'm pretty sure it went over a lot of people's head. And
Okay.
they're not going to receive the message.
All right, our girl is back. Ray Shay, please do me a favor. Call us up, 617, all right, 238-7111. Please call us up. And we're not here to dig into you.
Tread lightly. Tread lightly. Tread very,
Listen,
very lightly.
listen. Well, I'll keep it safe. But I do want to ask you some questions in terms of your marriage. You've been
Mhm.
married for 16 years. School me on how you made it through 16 years. I was married a lot longer than that before divorce, but I'm always open to different perspectives. So please, 617-238-7111.
But I think before we get into that part,
Right.
if she does call in, we have to address that whole middle school thing, because that
No
just
doubt.
Man,
kind of
listen,
Let's talk about it.
yeah.
I'm trying to be
Yeah.
nice. Marv's listening. I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
No, listen, man. We're having a show, man. Man. Let's talk. We're here to talk about it.
Yeah.
Hold nothing back. Hold nothing back, man. I'm
Oh,
not.
boy.
Listen.
All right.
It doesn't mean you're a terrible person.
I'm
man.
not, but
Speak your mind.
it's
Don't
617-238-7111. Call us, because that rubbed me the wrong way. Absolutely.
And I think the phone was off the hook. Sorry.
Okay.
About that. So call us now. Sorry, y'all. 617-238-7111. We're talking about relationships, love under arrest. This all started early in the week when the video came out with Big Tigger, who was arrested back in May 2026, aggravated assault and child something, because the kid was there watching.
Child endangerment.
Endangerment.
I think.
Yeah, the kid was there witnessing it, so forth. And then another video came out which apparently showed none of the stuff that he was accused of doing. In fact, the woman whose name is Alicia Brown, she was playing the camera and pretty much crying wolf, which we talked about earlier. It just happens to a lot of men.
Yeah.
You talked about your situation, man, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I talked a little bit about mine,
Mhm.
but it's not just us. It's just men in general that have gone through similar situations where, you know, you're in an argument, next thing you know, you're in handcuffs.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
You know?
It happens a lot. I mean, I've talked to quite a few, folks that I know that have been in that situation where they got into an argument with their girlfriend. They end up leaving the house or whatever, and then the cops are called, and that person's in the back of a police cruiser.
But is it? I'm trying to understand what is the mindset of, which I know I never will, but for a woman to be like, you know what, I'm so mad at this dude that I'm gonna call the police and have him arrested, even though in my heart I know the things I'm gonna tell the police he didn't do. Like, how do you get there? You know what I'm saying?
that's the question.
I think that pretty much has to be like, for me, I don't know how you guys feel, but I just feel as though if a woman can do that, she has to be mentally unstable.
I have to agree with you.
Something's definitely going on.
Yeah, she has been.
I have to agree with
She has,
you.
because I've been in several relationships, long-term relationships. One for 23 years, another one for 10, 11, whatever it was. Never had the cops called on me. Had disagreements, whatever. Never had the cops called on me.
But you got to be a really evil woman to take it there, knowing what that's gonna do to him and his life.
Yeah. And ultimately, you know what I'm saying, once you pick and I think sometimes too, what some females may realize or may not realize, it's like once you pick up the phone and you call 911, right? This man gets arrested. There's no more of you walking into the courthouse and saying, oh, we just had a fight, go ahead and drop the charges. No, it's in the Commonwealth's hands now. So it's totally out of your hands.
Yeah, you're right.
They're taking that over. So there's nothing, you can't go back to that man and say, I'm sorry, I want to drop the case, this, and that. Now it's into the Commonwealth. That whole scenario has to play itself out in court before it dissolves itself.
But I don't understand how a woman could do that and lay down at night and go to sleep and be okay with what she did, knowing that you're sitting in a cell. What you guys say, 6 to 8 hours before you get
nine and a half,
9.5 before you get bailed, and she's okay. That doesn't like, you really got to be a very sick individual.
But on the flip side, still playing victim, like something actually happened to you when it didn't.
Yeah, that's mental.
So that's why I'm saying, for someone to be able to, for someone to feel comfortable doing that, just going on with life, going home, going to sleep, just act like everything is, all fine and good out here, you have to be mentally unstable. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to be,
because
there is a level of cuckoo-ness for sure.
Yeah, but as men, we don't call the police. We just gonna put our clothes in a trash bag and leave.
I don't know. I think sometimes you gotta call the police to keep from have the police called on you.
Right, but generally speaking, I think men, when we're going through situations like that, we just want to leave and remove ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We don't take a woman's phone and hang on to it the way she did Tigger and be like, call the police and say, oh, she assaulted me, and then go to court and lie under oath.
Right. So in the Tigger situation, he was just trying to get his phone.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't she get? That's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you give it to him and you're hanging on to it? Do you really want him to stay, or do you really want him to go? Like, I was totally confused by her actions.
I mean, she was on the floor, laying on her stomach, and he was just standing there, like, "Give me my phone."
Right, but that's what I'm saying. What was the point of not giving him the phone? If okay, allegedly he cheated with the co-host of his show. Allegedly, I wasn't there, but that whole behavior on the video, I'm not understanding that.
Yeah.
So here's a good one. Should your judgment be questioned for choosing such a woman as you have asked women to do? We did say that, like, their judgment in terms of picking a person. And yes, I think, we got to do a better job as well.
Sure.
What are some of the signs, though? Because I'm sure there were signs. But in Tigger's situation as well, there had to be some signs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of times people use that that saying of like, if someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been guilty of like overlooking, like I could see something, be like, oh, this person's really a nice person, whatever. I know they've been through some things and whatever the case might be, but it's like going forward, I can't have that same thought process because people will take that and use it or try to use it to their advantage.
Yeah.
But I said that earlier. I think as men, you're right, Steve, you said it. As men, we got to make better judgment in that comment. But also what we said earlier, I think men, even when we see some red flags, we do give a certain level of grace and empathy and sympathy and compassion. And we do think
because this person's different.
Right.
I can help this person.
Right.
I can change her. And I think women do the same thing with
right.
men.
But I think the difference is men and ladies, don't take this the wrong, but I think men genuinely love with their heart. Is like relationships. I think it's different because even though we know this woman is toxic and we do see red flags, because we care for her as much as we do give a lot of grace, which I think we don't always get as men. And I could be wrong, but I think men, we do give a lot of grace, even though we're in a toxic relationship. Now, at some point, that toxicity starts to take over, and then we leave. Like in your situation, as you mentioned earlier, like, yo, you was in a relationship, shouldn't have been in it, but you were in it. But eventually you're like, yo, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then so now the grace that we've been given for 10, 15, 20, 23 years, that's out the window.
Well, I'm not giving grace for that long.
No, but I'm just saying,
I'm not giving grace for that long. It's going to be a short period of time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I truly feel like, anytime when you're in a relationship, of course, it starts out brand new.
Right.
And, there's going to be certain behaviors that you're still going to be stuck on, and that person that you're with is going to be stuck on. But if you both come together, collectively in a relationship, and you're willing to make changes for that person willing to make changes for you, it just becomes a much smoother transition altogether.
I agree.
So here's another comment. I think social media has glamorized such relationships, which is counter to what most of us want, which is true. Social media has definitely effed the game up for real.
For sure.
Big time, not just a little bit. It's messed the game up a lot because people look at social media and they follow the trends.
Yeah.
And they jump on the trends. I mean, that's part of the biggest between the music and social media. The game is just jacked up.
I know I said this before, but I think reality TV has totally ruined the culture. When you look at the Kardashians, Love and Hip Hop, New York, Miami, LA, Basketball Wives, Real Wives of Atlanta, I think people think that's what relationships are.
Listen, Ray Shay, I'm loving your comments. I wish you could just call us up, 617.
What is she writing now?
238-7111. She says, so men get a pass for giving grace, but women been giving grace for millions of years, and you guys tell us to pick better. Why are you mad at us? We just speaking on.
I just really wish she would call in.
Yeah.
Like, just call in.
Yeah.
That comment made no sense.
617-238-7111. Just call in.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of women. They always want to flip. Here we are speaking from our hearts, mind, and soul. And not just us, but men do that in relationships. And y'all look past it. Why not just take it for what it is? You know what? They said something really important right there. Maybe this will help me in my relationship. You know,
But that comment made no sense.
I mean,
read that comment again. Read, please.
I mean, this is my thing. It's like, okay,
right?
if you've been in a marriage for 16 years, and if there's something that we're saying here on the air that doesn't make sense to you, obviously, I'm assuming that her husband is doing everything that he's supposed to be doing
I'm
right.
sorry, I'm just laughing at the comments.
What is? Read her comment again because it
Okay,
made
let me-
absolutely no sense.
I'm sorry. So wait a minute, that's not it. Here we go. So men get a pass for giving grace, but women been giving grace for millions of years, and you guys tell us to pick better. That's funny.
We never said we never said that.
We never said nothing about them picking better.
No.
Well, no, we did say something.
About us picking
Close to-
better, about men picking
Yeah,
better.
yeah, and
Yeah,
about women. I forget what the conversation was.
Yeah,
but
but she-
we did mention that.
But she's twisting our words. We never said about giving us a pass for giving grace. That's not what no one said
Right.
that. We understand women. Listen, I'm gonna say this: women do stay in relationships a little bit longer than they should because they do give grace. Kudos to you.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we do the same thing too. We do stay in toxic relationships and unhealthy relationships. We give grace. So we're not saying give us a pass. No one said that.
Okay, so she's not in the space to call us. And listen, I appreciate your comments, and she's got a doctorate as well, brother. She mentioned that.
Okay, and doesn't mean you're smart.
Right.
Your book smart, but don't mean you got common sense. Come on, stop playing with me.
Right. And there is such a thing as that. You got a lot of smart people in the world, but and I'm not saying you're dumb. You can be smart, but not smart in certain areas.
Right. Just because
You
you
know?
have a doctorate doesn't mean you have common sense. That just tells me you're academically and book smart. Like stop. Because every comment she's posted made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
And again, all we're simply doing, and this is part of what I think is a big problem when it comes to relationships. Y'all don't want to listen. Not all of y'all, but a good majority of y'all don't want to listen. I don't think we said anything that was hurtful to anybody.
No.
We're just talking about our experiences as men. Don't you, if you're involved in a relationship and you're having issues, or if you're single, wouldn't you like to know some information that can
Facts.
help you in the next one?
Right.
Well, that's all we're talking about. And I don't think we need doctorates to be able to give that information.
No.
All you need is experience. There's
know.
people who ain't graduated from college for anything, and they're making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's smarter than a doctor.
Listen, I know some. I know some folks. I know some folks that didn't even graduate high school
Right.
that are making millions.
Making
of
millions.
dollars.
Listen.
Running major companies.
Yeah.
Just
You
because
know?
you got a doctorate from ITT Tech doesn't mean you're smart.
Friends of mine didn't
just
go to
saying.
college.
Yeah.
Making millions, running big companies.
Mhm.
I just think her in particular, she's not understanding where we're coming from and what we're trying to do. Like I agree with you. I don't think we've said anything hurtful or harmful or
I mean,
disrespectful.
we never do.
We're this is an R&B relationship show from
Yeah.
a man's perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of it is our own experiences. A lot of it is thousands of hours of conversation with our fathers, our uncles, our
Hey,
grandfathers,
listen,
our friends. So I feel like we're sharing what we've been through, but what men around us have also been through because it's very similar.
you're actually Ray Shay, you're actually proving some of our points.
Thank you.
This
I
is-
wanted to say that,
This
but you can
is
say
part
it.
of the problem. I'm going to read this next comment from it. Well, you threw out your master's degree. I'm doing the same exact thing you're doing. I'm mirroring you. Is that okay? That's part of the problem.
You're not mirroring me, honey.
But that doesn't. Okay.
You're
so-
not on my level, sweetie, doctorate or not. I can
You
I
do
can
this,
assure
I can
you.
do it better.
I can
Come
assure
on
you.
now,
I could
stop.
listen. I could promise you, you're not on my level. Doctorate, PhD, it's nowhere. I promise you. You don't want this smoke. Trust me.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I look at it like this, man. We was classified as being in the middle school, right?
Right? Exactly.
You can't earn a degree in middle school, can
No, I can't.
you? Okay. I don't know of any middle schools where
Right.
you can.
But
Okay.
Steve said it. She's proving our point. She's not listening.
Of course not.
She's commenting
Of course not.
and as a rebuttal
I mean,
for everything we said.
For everything
she's
we
part.
said. Well,
She's
what
part
about
of the
you guys?
problem. She's
Yeah,
part of the problem.
I agree.
I mean, my thing is this. You mean to tell me that we started the show at 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
We ran till 1.
yeah,
We took a break for an hour.
yeah.
came back on at 2:00,
Yeah.
and there's no space for you to give us a
No.
2-minute
You
call.
can't go outside of unless you're working. I get that, but you can't go outside and have a phone. Let's have a phone conversation.
She doesn't want to because she won't listen.
Right.
She's part of the problem. And I bet you if we talk to her husband, he would give us a different perspective than what she's given us. She is definitely a woman who's not listening, who has a rebuttal for every bullet point that we've brought up since we've been on the air.
Well, my thing is this. Also, it's like if you're commenting in on the comments as if your relationship is perfect, then that tells us that your husband is perfect, right?
Which he is not.
Well, no, hold on. So that tells us that your husband is perfect. So why don't you call us and let us know what he's doing that is so perfect?
So we can implement that in our lives.
Yeah.
So we could be married blissfully for 16 years.
Exactly, because pretty much the focal point of this conversation is to have interaction with our listeners, right?
Absolutely.
And we give them information, they give us information back. We're not saying that everything that we're saying on the air is spot on and is right. We're just trying to give out some of the blueprint in regards to like things that could be changed in relationships to make them better. But if there's something that you can add that can add some added value to our conversation, call us and give it to us.
But she's not in a space where she can call, but she can comment via keyboard and comments.
Listen, our lines are open for anyone to call in and chime in. Again, we're just giving it to you from a man's perspective, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. R&B relationships from a man's perspective. And again, why would you not want to hear that information? It could help somebody, right?
Because she's not listening.
Yeah.
Close your mouth, open your ears, and take bits and pieces of this conversation that'll make you a better wife and a better woman.
Right.
And I'm not saying you're bad, but right now you're being very combative.
Right.
You're the type of woman that we speak about on every segment. Combative, not listening. Listen. It doesn't cost you anything to listen.
Right. Yeah. So
I'm just still trying to figure out what having a doctorate degree has to do with this conversation.
Well, I guess she's trying to prove that she's smarter than us.
Well, you talked about your degrees, and so she's saying, "Well, I got degrees," and again,
but you don't mirror me.
She's mirroring what you said, which I think is part of the problem in some relationships.
Oh, for sure.
Because what happens is you talk about a situation in your life or in your relationship, and then your partner comes back and say, "Well, what about you and this and that?"
Yeah.
Now, not to say you can't talk about those things, but why not address what your partner said beforehand?
Thank you.
You know. You can't get anywhere going back and forth like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I think the difference between her and I is I actually listen. She's not listening. That's the difference. You can mirror me all you want, but we're not the same. Not even close.
Right. All right. Tracy says, "Thank you, Steve. You're welcome. I'm not sure where I deserve that, but let me see what else we got here. It's only combative because I am confronting you on you guys' immature behavior towards relationships." Okay.
See that? More digs. Like you have a perfect relationship. I would love to talk to her husband.
Listen, see, again,
so that again just makes no sense whatsoever.
Thank you.
Immature perspective.
Right.
We're talking about real life situations that we've been through.
The truth hurts.
How is that being immature?
The truth hurts.
Again, if you're in if you claim that is so immature, you've been in this 16-year healthy marriage where there've never been any problems, no arguments, no nothing.
Tell us what he's doing.
Call us up and give us the formula as to what your husband is doing.
Please.
617-238-7111.
Again, a typical woman who doesn't listen, who has something to say about everything.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me off the rip, she don't respect her man.
I'm
gonna say it. I don't care. I'm gonna say it.
I mean,
she's very combative. I don't even know this woman.
Yeah.
Like I said, have her husband call us 617-238-7111. I would love to get his perspective. What makes their marriage so perfect? Why is he so perfect? I want to talk to him.
I mean, because if he's your ultimate king and the man that you love, honor, and respect, I would think that you would want to boast and brag about him, right?
She's not in a space to give us a call. She already told you that.
Oh yeah,
she's at work. She's at work.
So
she
what?
Can't give us a call. But again, we're talking R&B relationships, love under arrest. This all started with the Big Tigger situation. He talked about his situation where he beat a case similar to the Tiggers thing, where he took it to trial and was found not guilty based on stuff that was just made up. So, here we are with other topics. Before we signed off, prior to, we was talking about the top 5 things that we feel women should stop doing. We mentioned a lot of those things. We also asked women, because just what I'm sorry for screwing up the name, Ray Shay was saying, or basically what she's been doing, going back and forth, mirroring this and that. We asked, what are some of the top 5 things that men should stop doing? All right. If you can't call us, write them in the comments. I'll read them out there just like that, because I just want to be fair about it.
Men are perfect. We don't need to change it.
Yeah, we perfect. We don't need to change a goddamn thing, man. We don't need to change it.
We don't need to change
How
nothing.
about that?
We figured it out.
How about that?
We figured it out.
I'm just joking. I know I ain't perfect.
I'm not perfect either. Not by a long shot.
Yeah, I've never claimed to be perfect.
Right.
I know.
But I think
I
that's-
know I have my faults.
I think that's the difference between men and women. I think most women, I say some because I get correct all the time, think they're perfect and think they don't need to change and think that everything they do is right. And I think that's a bad way to approach life. Like you said, that narcissistic behavior, it hasn't worked and it's not going to work in any relationship, whether it's personal or professional.
Listen, if you're in a great relationship, give us a call.
Facts.
Don't be. You don't even have to say your name. We don't.
Yeah.
We won't put you out there like that. Give us a
we
call.
won't.
Talk about your experiences. Again, she's saying she's been in a 16-year marriage. Has it all been gravy?
I
I
doubt it.
Most marriages, 16 years, haven't all been gravy. But let's be honest. There's people in marriages that don't want to be in marriages, but they're still in marriages. It hasn't been gravy. You got marriages where people, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
People cheating. So,
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, because they can't afford to get out, or the man that they were actually married to is just like, oh well, if I leave this house, I'm gonna have to give her the house. I'm gonna have to give her part of my retirement. So a lot of these dudes are staying in it just because they don't want to lose that money or those assets.
right.
Let me tell you, my parents have been together 48 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. And I can tell you right now, it has not always been gravy with those two.
Yeah.
So for her to even come and even imply that she's had a blissful 16-year relationship, I would have to call BS on that. Like I
Yeah.
said, my parents are still together
Well,
48 plus years, and I've seen them go head to head. They don't always agree. They argue. So that's hogwash if she's going to want me to believe that she has a perfect relationship. Nah, I'm not. I'm not
I
buying
mean,
it.
I see that she puts in comments about everything else. Just put in the comments what makes your 16-year marriage so great,
Right.
and why you don't have any issues or problems.
Yeah, give us the key so we can apply it to our next relationship and our marriage if I'm ever fortunate enough to get married someday.
Mhm.
But then again, legally I can't get married because I'm in middle school and that's illegal in the state of Massachusetts.
Right.
You can't get married at 14.
Nah,
No, you can't do that.
Nah. That was some clown stuff.
In another maybe 4 to 7 years you can.
Well, in Alabama, I can marry my little cousin,
All right. Here's one comment. It's not in the comments, but stop treating. Let me get this phone call first here. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Urban Heat. Who's this?
Hey, Steve, it's Bronte. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
It's who?
Dr. Bronte. Let me correct myself, right?
Right.
How's
Okay,
everything
doctor.
going?
She called before, right?
Hi, guys.
What's
How
up,
are you
doc?
guys? Yes.
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Great. Oh, listen, let's just jump into this real quick.
Mhm.
So I know, and I just came in on a show, so bear with me. I think first of all, doctorates, no degree. Degrees doesn't constitute a successful marriage.
Thank you.
So for anyone to say that, I think that they really need to sit down and they need to think about some of the things they say before they say it, right? So we just don't get that out the way.
I love you.
Thank you.
Our Black men, we need to find some balance. Okay, and all of you guys know me. I'm not going to come over here with the riffraff. I'm going to come over here with facts. But there are some things that our Black men need to start doing a little better. And that is stop treating a loyal woman like she's an option. It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of men who we're the prize, right? We were to get from God to men, right?
Right.
But you give a loyal woman who's consistent, who's communicative, who wants to put down that alpha role that we have to, maintain when we raising our kids by ourselves and we don't have that partner.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do, we find that men take advantage of that. And I'm trying to wrap my head around how is it that our men, and I'm just talking about Black men, I'm
Yep.
talking about my men.
Right.
How is that to take when a woman's pouring all that into you and you can treat her like she's an option if she's the whole package? That's just one. So I want y'all to document that one.
Right.
I'm
The
not.
second
No.
one is, how is it that men can avoid conversations or communications, silence, disappearing, and expecting the woman to guess, did I do something wrong? Well, where's he at? Or what's going on? And where's this relationship going? This is like almost like gaslighting and stonewalling and all these things. We are grown ass people.
Mhm.
We don't do these things. And see, you want to have and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but some men, not all, want to have that role as being an alpha or a man, all right, the leader of the relationship. But when you start exhibiting childlike behavior, that says a whole bunch about your character and your integrity and who you are as an individual. And I say this to people all the time. If you want to have that consistency in a relationship, you have to put the same effort in that your partner is putting in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's some of the things that I'm seeing. And then it's like entertaining other women while asking for loyalty. A lot of men want a traditional woman, right? Right? They want is it traditional, but they want to live a contemporary lifestyle. You can't have both. They don't match. They don't.
Right.
They don't bench. You want a woman to stay home, be loyal, be faithful, listen to you, right?
Right.
But you want to be outside, living that contemporary lifestyle, talking to who you want to talk, entertain. When you're in a relationship and you're communicating with another woman, and you have a woman at home, you're entertaining something. You have a commitment to her, but you're entertaining. It's still a form of cheating. It is, because you're entertaining it.
Right.
And it's like, if your woman comes to you and she's like, I don't like this. I don't feel comfortable. If the shoe was on the other foot, men would be mad as hell at women for doing what they do. Matching energy. Okay, well, you want to do it. Let me do it so you can see how it feels. See, I don't play that game because I'll tell you, I'll walk away from you.
Mm.
Silence is everything, right?
I mean, you make
And
a.
so,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not done because I'm going to bring it down to the list.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, let it
Listen,
out.
I'm loving everything that you're saying. I'm
Making promises,
Yeah.
right? Stop making promises you do not intend to keep. This pisses me off because I hear it. I talk to my friends. I've been through it, and I'm like, you're making a promise of being consistent, and those words are, it puts a wedge in us because we're looking like, okay, so you're making all these promises, but your action is doing the opposite of what your mouth is speaking. That's why I tell people, if you're going to do something, do it. I don't want to get nothing you got to say. I want to see what you're doing because, see, I always said I have some things that I do when I'm dating, and I lay the foundation to see if the person I'm dating, and it not to be mean, is going to take that and run with it. And when I see it, I'm like, damn, I'm so disappointed because I thought you were who you say you were. But then, and it's not a game. It's almost like you allow them to come into your world and you set that foundation for them and you open up just enough to see if this is a person who has the right qualities and this is the person who's going to keep their word. And then you leave it there, and when you see it, you're like, wow, okay, so I see what I'm dealing with. Y'all understand what I'm saying. And then the last one is stop expecting women to heal wounds that you refuse to address. Men are out here doing things, and they call us bitter, and they call us angry, and they say all that. But what did you do to put us in that predicament? Now, we can pick up our hearts, and we can harden our hearts, and we can close off, or we can take our hearts back. But how is it that you can go out there and do all that and don't think what you just did hurts us. And then when we tell you hurt us, it's like goes over your head. Like, so you don't care. Only person you care about is self. And that past hurt isn't an excuse to mistreat someone who genuinely loves you. Because there are good women out there. We've talked about this on the show before. There are a lot of good women. If I see something and I know women are wrong, I'm going to call them out. And I'm going to call you men out too, because it's all about maturity. Our race is the most dysfunctional race right now. And it's unfortunate. And then you wonder why Black women go and date European men and men outside of their culture, because we're not getting what we need from our men. We're not. And then they go into isolation, and then they shut down, and then they don't take accountability. And then even I say therapy is fine. Some men think therapy is the worst thing. No, therapy actually helps relationships because you get things out that you're too scared to discuss. Or a third party can come and say, no, like, no, what you're doing is wrong, and no, ma'am, what you're doing is wrong. So we meet in the middle. Mm-hmm. So these are the things I'm throwing out to you guys, because I just want to get your perspective on these issues.
So before we talk about that, right, let me just ask you real quick. So how do we fix that? Because everything you just said, I'm not going to disregard. I think it's all valid, right?
I do too.
I do as well.
But I think everything we're talking about is valid too. I don't think we're just spitting out stupid stuff or things that don't make a difference on our side. But for some reason, as we discuss these things, we still have the same problems. Yeah. So how do we fix that?
So you have to have that conversation has to happen. You have to sit down without distractions and be honest. Instead of accusing each other and talking about, what you feel and how you feel, you have to be able to sit down and have that level of communication. Okay? Without communication, a relationship's going to fall apart. Without communication, distance, creeps in and takes over. And then, you see each other just not wanting to be involved, and then you walk away. I'm a silent walk away. I'll just walk away and you won't hear from me no more. I'm being very transparent. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. I don't have time for the riffraff or the drama. I just walk away. My peace is so important. A woman's peace nowadays is its ultimate high, because we're going through so much in corporate America, So, and then, let actions become the proof. If someone says that they're committed, their behavior should show it. You shouldn't get into a relationship that you're not ready for. It makes no sense to jump into something you damn well know you're not ready for and think it's going to be successful, because what you're going to do is you're going to hurt the person you're with. And that person's going to hate you. Or that person's going to look at you in a light that maybe you're going through some communication. If I'm going through hey, I'm going through this, it doesn't mean that I don't care about you. It doesn't mean that I don't love you, but I'm just going through something. And you know what? And that person should be there to say, hey, I'm here for you. What can I do to help? Okay, That's how you make relationships successful. But if you have one person putting all the energy into the relationship, and the other person's out here, okay, I just told what's wrong, and they're not doing their part, then it's a dysfunction. The foundation was broken before it started. If you understand what I'm saying, so you have to be able to take time to build or rebuild through consistency. You have to show that person that you are worth it, that I want and I will fight for it. I'm seeing so many ads right now with guys coming over saying, yo, if that man don't call you back, you wasn't a priority. That hurts to hear that our men are that messed up, that they feel that they don't value us. And that's what we as Black women feel devalued. We're not feeling the value of our Black men. We're feeling that we should be able to come home. Like, I don't want to go to bed mad at my partner, ever. I never want to come home and go to sleep in my house, his house, or whatever house I'm in, and be upset with him. Because, see, I'm bringing that luggage into my next day, and then my next day might be good. He could die that night, and I will be miserable the next day if something happens, because we didn't make peace. So I try to exercise that, okay, let me make sure we resolve these issues before we go to bed or right at the time, so that we're both on the same page and we can move past, instead of holding on to luggage that don't need to be held on to, and then take accountability. Oh my God, accountability right now on both sides is trash.
It's a disease.
I think we all agree with that.
Yeah, I could agree with that 100%.
I think I want to
And we only have 5 minutes, by the way.
I'm gonna make this real quick. I agree with a lot of what she said, but I think she answered her own questions because I want to address the men that she talked about. You said it, maturity. And I'm not making excuses for brothers. I won't do that. But a lot of the men that you spoke about lack maturity. That's number one.
Mhm.
And number two, I need women to understand that as men, nobody teaches us how to nurture relationships. We learn through trial and error. And
Mhm.
like my dad never sat down with me and said, hey, this is what is expected of you in a relationship. This is how you nurture a relationship. This is how you have a healthy relationship. My dad's Haitian. You know what I'm saying? So for me,
I remember.
anything in a relationship was trial and error and just being around my homeboys that are in relationships and watching them and their partners and how they act. So, I just want to say on behalf of the good black men out here to those women, I want to apologize because we, like the three of us, we do value black women. We do value you. We need you because without you, we don't have anything else. I don't date outside my race. So all I have is black women. You know what I'm saying? But I've said this before. I struggle when it comes to dating black women because black women don't like me. They say I act white. So I struggle.
3 minutes.
You know what I'm saying? But again, you
Okay,
you
let me
answered
insert
your
back
own question. It's a lack of
Yeah.
maturity.
Thanks for the call, doctor.
Okay, so the last one was,
Yep.
you need to decide if you're both invested into the relationship.
Absolutely.
Love requires mutual effort. If one person is pursuing while the other one is staying emotionally unavailable and unwilling, you need to get out of that relationship.
Absolutely.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we did 100%.
Thanks for the call.
Thank
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Have a great day.
All right. Yeah, so we got another show coming up, so we got 2 minutes
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
wrap it
yeah.
up, man.
Yeah.
And listen, much respect go out to all the callers, all the folks in the comments.
For sure.
This is a conversation. This is what it's all about. And there's nothing no one said anything wrong. I think we're all right in a sense. The problem is, like I said, man, how do we fix it? Because we seem to have the answers to all the issues.
Yeah.
So
Right.
what's the problem?
Yeah.
Why can't we
exactly.
fix it at this point?
Maybe
Yeah.
we should implement some of those answers to the issues.
Yeah.
Take our own advice.
And I mean, and some of the comments that was just made by the doctor, I mean, those are some things that I've actually implemented into the relationship I'm in now
Yep.
to make sure that, that I stay aligned with what's going on right now at this moment in time. But, I didn't want to chime too much because she was giving some really great facts.
She always
And-
does the way
And
she calls. She's one of my favorite callers.
And I took a lot of nuggets from that conversation.
Facts.
Because that's basically what this is all about. It's conversational and being able to take something out of the conversation that you could learn and apply to your current situation or any future situation.
Right.
Right. So again, relationships from a man's perspective, we do this show for the simple fact that, we do feel at times we're not heard, or we say things, you hear us, but you don't hear us. And we feel like we do represent a lot of men, a good percentage of men out there who say what they say in regards to a relationship, and they're not really heard until it's over. Right.
Mhm.
So we try to bring out some of those things. We're not perfect ourselves. I
No,
know I'm not.
I'm not either.
I'm not
close.
either.
But I think I do have plenty of experience in relationships. I think we all do. We got some value to add for the next one, or even for the person that's listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Any final words, fellas?
I'm good. I think I took some nuggets from what the good doctor said. Like you, I'm not perfect. I'm not opposed to black men doing therapy. I've been in therapy. Shout out to my therapist who has got me to this point where I know if God is going to bless me with a relationship, I know my next relationship is going to be dope because I did the work. I put in the work because I wanted to be better. You know what I'm saying? Just across the board. So I know I can have a healthy, successful relationship. And like you guys, if the relationship isn't healthy, I'm out. I'm gone. There's nothing to talk about, nothing to think about. No type of grace whatsoever.
Especially not at this age.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I just want to give a big shout out to all the listeners that tuned in, all the comments. Big shout out to the doctor calling in, giving us some great nuggets. appreciate all of that information that she provided us with, because I'm quite sure we can all learn from that. We'll even take some of the stuff that she gave to us and, you know, give it to someone else that may be in need of it.
And there's
And-
never enough time.
Yeah.
It's never enough time. So we'll definitely have to schedule another one, probably sooner than later after
yeah,
this
yeah,
one, man,
yeah, for
because
sure.
there's so much more
Sure.
that we could talk about. And I'm digging all the comments, man. I think in general, again, you know, it's one of the biggest issues in our culture, relations, and it all kind of goes hand in hand with the unity and you know, we can even go as far as back in the day with our parents and our grandparents, married, 3, 4, 5 kids, families was together.
Mhm.
You don't have a lot of families today,
No.
No.
you know, and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to go, y'all.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll do it again. We'll set up another time. We'll let you all know. Keep it locked into the Urban Heat, 98.1 FM on iHeartRadio. Thank you.